Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Before a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM, we welcome you all back to our broadcast. Also tuning in to our friends at WYADonline.com, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD, and today we're talking about human rights. It's something that sometimes we may take for granted, but in 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted what's called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And since then, one of the things that has definitely been promoted is the importance of everyone recognizing the rights they should have as individuals. Women have definitely been at the forefront of a lot of this movement. And on December the 10th, it's celebrated as Human Rights Day. Here to talk to us more about this year's event and the year-long celebration gearing up for the 75th anniversary of the adoption, we're excited to welcome Ms. Kerry Kennedy to our program. She's the president of the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights. We're going to talk to her not only about this year's Human Rights Day, but also the impact that women have had and where you all can go for more information. Ms. Kennedy, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. First of all, congratulations to you and the work that you all have been able to do here. As I mentioned, December 10th is recognized as Human Rights Day. What can you tell us about that and its importance?
Sure. So in the wake of the Nazi atrocities during World War II, the countries of the world came together and said there are certain rights that every human being has just by virtue of being part of the human family. And every country has to protect them. So there are things like the right to health care, education, housing, and then not to be tortured, not to be subjected to genocide. So those are all enumerated in the Universal Declaration. Now, those have since been made into laws, both in international law and domestic law in many, many countries. So if your rights are being violated, there's somebody you can sue. But it's not just the lawsuits. We work in the court systems to try and protect those rights, but there's a lot of ways that people can protect their rights and enhance a more just and peaceful world.
Such a great point, Ms. Kennedy. And as I mentioned in my introduction, women have definitely been very instrumental in the shaping of this declaration and its importance. What can you tell us about the impact that it's had on women's rights?
Well, first of all, this was drafted by Eleanor Roosevelt in collaboration with people from all across the globe. And then it's been used by people like Rosa Parks, more recently Malala, Greta Thunberg, right there in Atlanta, Coretta Scott King, Stacey Abrams, who I'm such a huge fan of, Shirley Franklin, so many others, and so excited about Yolanda Renee King, who all have talked about the importance of the Universal Declaration.
And knowing this history, I think, is so important for our audience, Ms. Kennedy, and that's why we're so glad to have you here. But we also are looking forward to the future, and that brings us to an education program that's going on, the Speak Truth to Power campaign. What can you tell us about that program?
So this is our human rights education program taught from kindergarten through law school in the United States and all across the globe. And we teach children about their rights, students about their rights. We teach them social emotional learning and community organizing. So they know their rights, they feel comfortable asserting them, and they know how to bring together their family, their friends, their colleagues, their fellow students in order to create change for their neighborhoods and their communities. Part of being a human rights defender is being able to tell your story. So we have a video contest for middle and high school students. They make a video, and the winning video is shown at the Tribeca Film Festival. This year, we're so excited announcing today that we have a new prize that we're doing in collaboration with Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. and that is a prize for the best video on women's rights.
Amazing, amazing. What a great opportunity, too, to keep the young people involved for sure. Ms. Kennedy, this is such a great thing, and I think, as I mentioned, as the 75th anniversary of the Declaration is coming up next year, it's great to be able to have this front of mind as we're talking about this year's Human Rights Day. Where can our audience go for more information?
Well, I tell you, you can go to rfkhumanrights.org. That's Robert F. Kennedy Humanrights.org. But right there in Atlanta, you have such a great resource with the Human Rights Museum, which I've done some work on. Wonderful place. But for the video, go to rfkhumanrights.org and learn more.
All right. Again, everyone, Ms. Kerry Kennedy has been our guest, the president of the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights, talking with us about this year's Human Rights Day, the importance of it, but also the impact that women have had, and also this Speak Truth to Power contest that is going on that our audience can be a part of as well. Ms. Kennedy, again, thank you so much for stopping by the program. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
More than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, again, part of our Newsweek and News segment here at WYAD. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.